Hello guys, Sid the IT guy here, and in this video we will take a look at the example of server-side Ajax implementation with Laravel. So if you are following along with my tutorial, you can see this change in the Shopify customers route where the code has been changed slightly. So in the Shopify controller, you will see that for the public function customers, now it just returns the view. So, and in the index.blade, you will see that there is no looping over of the variable in the tbody section. I removed it entirely. And then in this table element, I gave it an ID of DT table. So, and if you scroll down, then you will see the script and where I have used the data table function on the DT table ID. So there are particular parameters passed in here, which is processing and server side. That means we are indicating that we are shifting the logic to backend. The Ajax, which can specify a specific route that we need to hit, and the columns, which contain the same information as the th element right here. So if you wish to inspect this code, the GitHub link for the repository will be in the description box. Please be sure to check that out and build on it if you need to. So then you go to web.php and you search customers.list. So you will see this named route here, which goes by any, and it is customers list, and in Shopify controller, the list method is called. So let's check that. And in the list method, we can see that the first thing I'm doing is checking whether the request is of Ajax type. If it is, then take all the elements from the request, then start building the query builder. So the first thing for that is we are taking the store variable, which is the auth users Shopify store, and the customers variable, which is the relationship get customers for the store variable. So you can see this relationship in store.php, which is in the models. So you will get an idea for that. So then we start modifying the query builder object that we got in customers variable. So the first thing we do is select the columns that we wish to take from the table, which are these columns. And then we put a condition for the search term. So what happens is when somebody types something in it, and this information is sent to the backend, and you need your code to factor this search term in order for you to return the right results. So that is what we are doing here. If the search index is set, and inside that if the value index is set, then I am filtering the customers. Now this is a function that we have separated out, so we don't have to worry about it now. I will get into this later. So then we are taking the count variable, which is taking the count from the current query builder that we have so far. So we will return this into the front end and show it here, this thing. Show 1 to 8 of 8 entries. Yeah. So then I am applying the limit and offset on the query builder. And after that, I'm applying it with the function offset and limit for MySQL. So the proper limit and offset is set in the query. Then I'm factoring in the order of the rows that we want to show it in, whether ascending or descending. And if we want to order it, then which column it should relate to. So that is the order customers function, which we will get into that in a second. Then a blank data variable, which is an array. And then I'm taking the query, which I have generated so far. So the toSQL method will return the string equivalent of the query builder that we have built. And after that, in the rows variable, I am actually making the database call to get all the rows for the query builder we have so far. So then I'm just checking if rows is not null, then loop over it and create this array, temporary array, and put it inside the data variable. So this thing I did here to hide the table ID of the row. And we are showing 1 to 8 here, regardless of what the table ID is. So that is what I highly recommend. Do not expose the actual table ID that you have in the database. And at the last, we are returning this array as a JSON. So draw, records total, and records filtered, and the data. These four things are required by the jQuery plugin, so it can show the data properly. So it has to be these indexes. And after that, we are just appending another one as a debug, where I'm returning the entire request object that I have got and the SQL query that we have generated above here. So I want to actually verify if the query that is getting generated is correct or not. And if everything goes fine, then we can return that. So let's take a look at the filter customers function. So it is written down below, and inside that I'm taking the term as a request search value index. And this is a function that receives a query builder and returns back the same query builder with some condition appended to it. So I'm just appending some conditions here where the concatenation of first name and last name is something equivalent to the term, and the email and the phone. These three columns I have chosen to filter the customers. And where we saw the order customers function, if you take a look at that, then I'm taking which column it is and what direction it is, which means ascending or descending. And column means which of these columns I wish to order my records in. So here I wrote a quick switch statement for the column. So in case it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I'm taking certain columns here, and in the default I'm taking the table ID. And this will return the same query builder once again, and it will do the order by which column and which direction. So ascending or descending, it can decide. So that is the entire thing. I highly recommend pushing the logic to server-side Ajax because the overhead is taken away. So when you refresh this page, the execution is pretty quick, and this retrieval of records is switched to an API call on the backend. So you can have the options to customize it and return the queries and execute them and form the response type however you want, and you have some freedom for the backend. So yeah, that's about it. See you.